Welcome to Timberwolf Treasures. Welcome to Timberwolf Treasures. Yeah.
Welcome to Timberwolf Treasure. My name's Colleen. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Today we're going to be using some Let's Resin UV resin. And I just ordered a new mold off of Etsy. And I'll put a link in the bottom. The person who sent it actually sent me a second mold as a thank you gift, which is very kind. I was very surprised to see it. I was happy with the mold I ordered, and then there's a bonus gift. So I will put a link in the description so you can check this out. But now the mold that I actually did order. I saw it on Etsy and was very excited about it. I think it's going to work wonderfully on necklaces, different size. You can see it'll make the different size cabochons, and there is a design in it. So it'll make the colors just pop and shine from the different directions. My first thought is chameleon powder, but I'm going to try a couple different things today. So I have some cabochons here that I'm going to be using on the back, and I just got a test to find out which one of the molds will fit best. I'm guessing that one. Let's hope it's that one, but it's very good quality mold. So let's start off. You got to use your proper, if you're using UV resin or resin, this is my UV light. You always make sure you have your gloves on. It's always best to stay safe. And some people get allergies from UV resin. Either way, it's sticky and a mess. So the first one we're going to start with is the chameleon. I've got a new pack here that I just got, Osbang Chameleon Pigment Powders. There's lots of very pretty colors in here. I'm just checking out all the different ones. I saw the blue one. It's so pretty. I saw another. That one just caught my eye. And let's check this out. Let's just see how this mold is going to do. I'm thinking it is such a pretty mold that it's going to be limitless. As long as you have something that it'll fit in, you can use all sorts of things. I started originally going to do with the chameleon pigment powder and then some chrome powders. I ended up thinking of a third item. I just kind of made my own way, and once you get started, sometimes you just get addicted to all the different ideas that you could come in. So double checking. And with the chameleon pigment powder, just using very little right into the mold to make sure all the sections are covered equally, because you want a nice finish on the necklace when it is finished. I'm making necklaces out of these. I mean, you could make necklaces or any kind of jewelry, but today's a necklace day. So I just make sure that there is a nice thin layer all the way through of the chameleon pigment powder. And I tend to knock things over, so just to be careful, I'm putting the lid back on just so I don't end up with pigment powder all. You want to use it for what it's there, not to make a mess. So next, I've watched a lot of videos. Steve McDonald's Arts and Crafts, watch him all the time. He has said that when you use chameleon pigment, it's always used. You get the best results for the picture, for the color, if you put black resin or UV resin behind it. So I've started with my Let's Resin UV resin, and then I've got my Let's Resin resin dye, and it's in black. And you just put a couple drops in at a time. until you get the desired color that you're looking for. Using UV, you can get very nice colors. You just have to make sure that there is enough resin still in there so that the light can get through and cure, because you're going to be using that UV light that's over to the left to cure it all up. So I had to put a couple extra drops on because it wasn't really looking as black as I wanted it to. You just give it a good stir, and then it's time to put it into the mold that's waiting with the blue pigment paste, pigment powder on it. The official colors of blue, purple, red. I think it's a very pretty color. There's lots of options. After trying this no name, the Ozbang, I've never heard that color before, but now I'm thinking I may have to go check out some Let's Resin chameleon pigments to see if they're better, if they're just different. And we're just going to make sure it's filled properly. And of course, get rid of the bubbles. I just use a long neck lighter so to get rid of any of the bubbles that are on the top. And we're going to be putting it under the UV light to cure. Now we're going to start with some chrome powders. These colors are truly beautiful. They are. I've bought a couple different sets. If you happen to spot some, I would grab them. I'm having some problems getting a hold of some of them in Canada right now. This is actually my second box. I've already used a full box of these. The colors are amazing. Like, they're so bright and vibrant. No matter what I've used it in epoxy resin. I've used it in UV resin. It's just, I'm addicted to the chrome powders. I'm gonna say it. They are just so, so pretty. And you get results like you would not believe. So while the first one's curing, I'm just going to mix up a couple colors from the chrome powders, so it'll be ready for my next experiment. Because I always try to do, if one's curing, well, that's when I get, if I'm going to do a second one, let's get everything ready while we're doing that. And you'd actually, these chrome powders do last a long time. I know I've used a lot of them, but they do last like very, very little to get the color you want. I want this one just a little bit more saturated. So added a little bit more, wiped off the ends, and then let's get a pretty color that I was looking for. If you've made it this far, I'd just like to thank you for watching my video. I do appreciate you and taking the time to watch everything. If you can like, subscribe, share. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, with my husband, Dave. We are just starting out on this journey. We are both very crafty people, and there's so many ideas. And here is the second color. And I'm open to, if you can think of something else to put inside this mold to make some really cool necklaces, drop a line, let me know. And now it's time. Let's see what this chameleon pigment powder looks like. You get a little bit of the purple, and check out that blue. That is so pretty. Even that it's a no-name brand, or a not as known name brand chameleon powder. Still, it's beautiful. So now I'm going to start getting this ready for the next one, because everything you do, you have to kind of put time away for how long it's going to cure. You always make sure you cure from the top and the bottom. You can see I'm just kind of putting the two colors and swirling it around a little bit to fill it up. Resin sometimes has a mind of its own, so really you can, every time you cure something, either with UV resin or epoxy resin, it's always a little bit of a surprise. You don't know what's going to happen. And sometimes you shock yourself at just how beautiful they are and how nice. It's like, I didn't realize it was going to do that, but I even like it more than I expected. We do craft markets, so if you have any questions, let me know. I'm more than happy to answer you along the way. I'm just hoping that I'll be able to help people, give them some ideas for the resin, either UV or epoxy. And once again, it's time to cure. So the bezel that I'm using, actually, I'm using a little mold underneath because the part where the chain is going to go does not sit level. And I want to make sure that the design that goes inside the bezel, the cabochon, sits properly in it. I don't want it to not sit properly. I want it to look level. So I'm going to be scratching a little bit off the bottom. I've heard that helps when you're putting the glue on, to get the glue to have more to stick on than just the soft part. And in this one, I'm using some craft glue. I've used it on lots of jewelry. I've never had any problems. And as you can see, it's not a new container. I believe you use what you got. Let's start by, we don't need to spend a whole lot of extra money. Let's use everything until it's done. I'm sorry, that is looking amazing. I love those colors. Now I gotta try the other chameleon colors in this set. It is just so pretty. Well, that's nice. That is so, like, look at the light reflecting off it. It is just so, and it was easy. You watched me make it. Think of, like, soon, Mother's Day, birthdays. How cool would that be if you made a necklace for one of your friends? And really, we're 10 minutes into this video. Then I'm going to be a little creative. I've seen a lot of people use nail art. Oh, it's time for the second one to come out. Let's see. So we got the second. I put the silver one and a gold one for the nail fill. So this is the two different shades of pink, the light and the darker. And that is very cool. You could still see the light shining off of it. And that's going to look very nice. So I was thinking of being a little creative with the nail foil. So what I'm doing is to just have a clear cabochon. Like, just fill it with clear UV resin. And I'm hoping when I put a little bit of the nail foil underneath, it'll make it pop, make it stand out. I'm just being creative, just making it. I'm not sure if this will work or not, but you got to try. So while the clear cabochon, that's just UV resin, is curing, I'm going to keep, you can see me turning the UV light on the side. It's time to put this one in too, so it can time for it to be glued together too. I'm currently working on getting things ready. This year we're going to do mainly Christmas markets because I'm working full-time and my husband works full-time. So we're going to do a little bit throughout the year and get ready for the Christmas markets here in Canada. Why don't you drop a line? Let me know where you're coming from. I think that'd be very cool, just so I know where everyone's from. I've always enjoyed meeting people from around the world. I hope someday to do more traveling, come check out some more parts of the world, but here we go. And all you push it into spot, and there you go. How pretty is that? And really, you pick your own colors, and with just basic steps, you can make beautiful jewelry for anyone you know too, or to get ready for a craft sale. So now, I know I'm making up my own little thing here, but I decided, let's try something different. Let's just see if this works or not. So I've got my clear cabochon there. You can see it. And I've got kind of a brown tone nail art. Sorry, it's not in the picture. Still learning this. I'm trying my best. I am still learning. I got most of it in the picture, just this one not so much. Everything's a little bit more complicated when you wear rubber gloves, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I'm just taking the cabochon, drawing around the outside of it so the nail art will fit, and you can see me cutting just off of the screen. Sorry about that. You can tell I'm Canadian. I'm always apologizing. That part of the stereotypical thing for Canada, that part is actually true. Now check that out. Well, I'm going to do a little bit more trimming to make sure it fits properly, but other than that, it's time to put this together. Hope it's going to work. So once again, I put a little bit of glue down, and then I'm just going to put the nail foil on top of it. At this point, I'm just hoping and being creative. If it works, that's great. If not, try a different technique next time. I'm still loving the other two on with this new mold. The new mold is very nice. Now I'm thinking I could use it for earrings, for charms, for bracelets, all sorts of things. So now you can see me. It's got glue underneath, and I'm just putting it where I want it to be. After that, I'm going to put a little bit of clear UV resin on it, just so that the cabochon will adhere to all of that. So let's put a little bit of pressure on it, and it's going to have to cure again. And hope and cross your fingers. And so I'm just making sure everything is in the spot I want it to be in. Those are both very pretty. There was a little spot of glue on the top, so I had to clean that off because kind of make it. That's an amazing. That here in Canada, tomorrow's Mother's Day, so maybe Mom will be getting a blue necklace for Mother's Day. I've got other stuff for her, but we'll check that out. That I like that. That is definitely different, but 3 different individual techniques that made from the same mold, just a little creativity. Here's the first one. Quite enjoyed that. I think this is a good mold. I am very happy that I purchased it. And I thank you for spending the time to come check out this video. If you're still here, like, subscribe, and share. That turned out better than I expected. So that's a win on my part. Thank you all for spending some time with me today. It is appreciated. And here's some cover pics of what it looks like, because all I did was put the necklaces on and took a couple pictures. Thank you, one and all.